if I like that or not. Go ahead. Next.
All right. I'm going to take that game, and I'm going to take the Rams.
All right, you're just copying my style.
And that's 3 points.
The guy's copied my style.
Yeah, you told me you didn't like the Rams last week. They won, baby.
Yeah, go ahead. Next.
That's the game that put me even with you. All right, Minnesota Vikings versus the Green Bay Packers.
What's the spread?
The Vikings are plus 6.5. The Pack is giving 6.5 points.
I'm not taking it. Division, nope.
Division and
out.
Cook is back.
I want out on that. Oh, he's thinking about taking the Vikings. Wow. You don't trust Cousins, bro, in a tough spot, but take him.
I don't trust Cousins, but I
You like that?
You like that, baby? All right, let's go to the New England Patriots versus the Buffalo Bills.
Do they lose 3 in a row?
No. I take the Buffalo Bills, and this is my 1-point game.
And what do you have?
It's the Bills are giving 4 points.
And you think the Bills are going to win?
I think the Bills are going to win.
Okay, Bills -4. And you're saying 1 point, you want the Bills in that.
I'll take the Bills.
You want the Bills. Nobody circles the wagons.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Buffalo Bills. Okay, give me another one. Talk to me.
All right. I don't want to touch this with a 10-foot pole.
You wouldn't touch it with someone else?
But I bet you're going to... Yeah, I wouldn't touch this with someone else's pole and you pushing. All right, so New York Jets.
The Jets.
Oh, man. I want to take this game, but it's just...
Tell me.
You're going to take this game. I already know.
Of course I'm.
The New York Jets versus the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh.
The New York Jets are plus 19.5. What a joke!
Yes.
Oh man!
The Jets are plus 19
and a half.
That's gotta be the largest spread in football ever.
It is by far.
Come on,
the largest.
It's gotta be.
Bro, the New York Jets are 19 and a half.
19 and a half.
The money line is plus 1,300, bro.
Stop. Dude,
you can't make this up,
and
brother.
A half.
Oh man.
I don't know if I could take that, bro. 20 points is so much.
That's a lot.
Even if I think the Jets will lose by 50.
Even if you think the Jets are gonna, even if the and then you know what, the Jets didn't allow a touchdown last week, surprisingly.
All field goals. That field goal kicker got buco fantasy points.
But how embarrassing is that you don't allow a touchdown and you lose by 8 points,
bro?
No one touchdown.
Half spread. Jesus.
They beat you with 6. God. With 6 field goals.
Dude, that franchise has just been beat with the ugly stick.
I mean,
next, go ahead.
With the ugly stick, hit the ugly tree all the way down the cliff.
All the way down.
Hit every branch.
Hit with a couple mangoes. Go ahead.
That's cold-blooded, John. Just for all of you at home, I'm allergic to mangoes, and John just found that out. So he'll be dropping mango drops in my water next week.
By the way, if he doesn't come back, it's because I hit him with a mango.
Yeah. All right. Let's go. Your number 1 Steelers.
No, I'm the Titans. You're Steelers. Go ahead, though.
The number 1 Steelers. Well, that's it. They're everybody's number 1. They're the only undefeated team.
Steelers. Go ahead.
Steelers versus the Baltimore Ravens. The Steelers are plus 3.5. The Ravens are giving 3.5 points.
Whoa.
Wait a minute.
Whoa. The Steelers are 6-0 and they're getting points?
They're 6-0. They're getting 3.5. That sounds like a trap game.
Wow. Bro, Lamar Jackson has been underperforming. The Steelers are 6-0.
And tough against the run.
Division rival. You know it's not going to be a blowout. Give me the Steelers plus 3.5. I like that, bro. Okay.
How many points?
Steelers plus 3.5.
You know your points, or are we going to wait?
No, I'm waiting. Go ahead.
All right, let's go. Oh, here we go. Your number 1, Tennessee Titans, the best team in football.
Go ahead.
Tennessee Titans are at the Cincinnati Bengals.
The Bengals.
The Titans are giving 5.5 points.
They're going to win by touchdown over the Bengals. The Bengals are gritty, man.
They're gritty.
Okay, next. I don't like that. I don't like Joe Burrow is the truth.
You think? Yeah, I mean, listen, he's been playing hard. He plays through every game, through whatever problems, a flag, and I like how he takes command of that offense.
Yeah, dude.
For a rookie, that kid is really stepping up to the plate.
He's the truth.
I mean, that organization needed somebody like him, another face of the organization to really boost the morale, I would say, in the building.
Boost it. Give it a boost.
All right.
Next.
Los Angeles Chargers at the Denver Broncos.
Whatever this is, I like the Chargers. What is it?
The Chargers are giving 3.
Yeah, I love
Broncos are down 3.
I love it, dude. Give me the Chargers all day. Justin Herbert is my guy. Chargers -3. I would have taken Chargers -6. Chargers -3 all day, in it to win it. Give me that.
All right.
Yep. I don't care division game or not. Justin Herbert is sick.
Here we go.
Yep.
Next game, New Orleans Saints
Saints.
Chicago Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears are getting 4 points.
Saints, Bears. Bears look, their offense is anemic.
Mm-hmm.
Man, do they look bad. Man, do they look bad. I'm going to take this. Wait, is there any other games?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
we
go
got
ahead.
a couple here. We got three. We got 3 more games to go.
Go
All right,
ahead.
so let's see. We got 49ers, Seattle.
Don't like it. I don't care either way. Go ahead.
Seattle Seahawks are giving 2.5 to the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, it's a close game. I don't like it, man. I like Russell Wilson. Division, I don't know, man. It's
That
sketchy.
sounds like a
sketchy.
touchdown game.
Yep, go ahead.
All right, let's see. Dallas Cowboys, Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles are giving 7.5 to the Cowboys.
Okay.
Are you gonna pick this game? Listen, I'm taking the I'm taking the Eagles at 7.5. That's gonna be my 5-point play.
Oh, wow. Wow. You are one.
Listen, if the Cowboys were getting 20 points, I would probably take the Cowboys over the Jets spread.
All right,
But
you know what? I got to put an end to this stuff.
Let's get it.
I'm taking the Cowboys plus 7.5. I got it, man. 7.5 is so much.
It is a lot.
So
It is a lot.
disrespectful. Come on, Cowboys.
But Dallas is letting go of defensive players.
I have my. Listen, they'll lose, but I just need them to lose within a 7.5.
They're selling off just like the Jets. I'm telling you that defense is abysmal, bro.
I have all of my picks. Go ahead. All mine are in with the points.
All right. And let's see, Bucks versus the Giants. 10.5.
10.5.
Bucks are giving 10.5 to the New York Football Giants.
I mean, that's probably accurate. The Giants are dookie. They're dookie Howser.
10.5 is still that's still a big spread.
Is 10.5 really that much worse than 7.5 and the Bucks?
I agree. It's
I mean,
it's a field goal away. It's
Come
a field goal
on.
away.
Yeah, thank you. It's 3. Yeah, very good. Your math is on point.
Quick
today,
math.
bro. Quick math.
Quick math. Former finance manager.
2 plus 2 is 4.
Talk to me, Goose.
Yep.
All right. How many I got? I got one more, right?
Yeah, one more. Wow.
Wow.
What a dumpster fire.
Yeah, man. You know,
Dude, I'm wearing a Cowboys jersey every single week. I just have to. It's like, you know what sucks?
did I take the Saints game?
No, you didn't. You want the Saints?
I'll take the Saints game.
That was a good game.
I like that. I like the Saints game. By
Saints.
4? I'll take Saints by 4.
Saints minus 4.
Yeah.
All right.
What's,
what do you? What you have your 1-point play and you have your 5-point play. What do you want? Lions 2.5. You want me to just go down how you picked it, or
Yeah.
you want to switch?
Yeah, run it down for me.
That's what I did. All right. You know, real gutsy. So this is what we're gonna do. I want everyone to know this. Everyone who's listening, I want you to know this. Are you ready for it? This is the challenge now.
Oh, jeez.
The
we're
gauntlet
gonna go
has
through it.
been laid down.
Oh, man.
Whoever loses must do the 1-chip challenge.
Oh, I hate you.
Whoever loses
Hate is a
next
strong word,
week
man, but
has to do the 1-chip challenge.
John, you are not my favorite person right now.
So whoever knows the 1-chip challenge or doesn't, go check it out. You get 1 flaming hot Dorito, essentially,
And 1 free ulcer.
and a free ulcer. And 1-chip challenge, whoever loses eats the chip of death.
Oh, man. This is going to be bad.
Whoever loses,
This
whoever
is going to
loses,
escalate quickly.
this is it. So
The picks are in.
the picks are in. Good luck to everybody involved except you.
I believe it.
Because I need you to eat that chip. Is there mango in there? Hopefully not.
If there's a mango in there, I can't eat it.
We have to look at the ingredients.
Yeah, you have to look
We
at
got to
it.
make sure.
Because if it's like a habanero mango
Habanero
flavor
mango.
ghost thing, then I'm done, bro. I'm done. I'm out of it. Somebody's got to step in.
Okay. That's crazy.
Ugh,
Wow. He said if there's a habanero mango mixture, I'm out.
I'm gone. I'm out.
I doubt that.
You win immediately.
But well, Eric Sika, wow. The guys
Oh.
from Bro Fluent are tuned in. Eric Sika says, I think John's finally missing Dak. Let me tell you something. I'm not missing Dak. You want to know why I'm not missing Dak? I'll tell you why. Because Dak Prescott was going to put up crazy numbers. He was going to get a monster contract.
Yeah, he was on track
He was going to eat up.
to break like every NFL record for a quarterback.
He was going to eat up almost 40% of our salary, and then we were going to lose because he is not a historically great QB. So no, I'm not missing Dak Prescott. What I'm missing is a team that's well run. I'm missing Jimmy Johnson. I'm missing people that care about putting us in a position to win the game. That's what I miss. That's what I care about. So for me, when you're a half a game behind first place in a dumpster fire of a division that you could win,
Awful.
instead of making moves that would potentially help you, you're in a fire sale. And it just lets me know you bring in a whole new coaching regime, and it's still the same old ownership. And it just, to me, it screams dysfunctional at its highest degree. And I'm tired of it. And I am extremely tired of it. Because the last time they were relevant, I had to go back to the triplets. And everyone wants to play for the Cowboys, bro. I don't care who says what. Everyone wants to play for the Cowboys. It is America's team. They have the best marketing.
The way our America's going right now and the way their season is going, absolutely, that's a match made in hell.
So but here's the thing, though. It is true. The fact is that they're the most marketable team, right?
Yep.
And look at sales. And the fact that they can't get out of their own way, and the problem is Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones is a walking contradiction. I'll tell you why.
Hit me.
He spends $2 billion of his own money, not taxpayers, to build a stadium. Every other owner uses tax-approved dollars. He builds an outdoor facility that mimics the indoor facility that's state of the art. He pays a premium for his players. He pays contracts he shouldn't pay, right? Fine. But then when it comes time to make the calls you need to make, you decide that you're not going to get a GM who is up with the times and help you make the moves. And here, even furthermore, I was very happy we let go of Jason Garrett. You're in this predicament with Gase now, right?
Oh, This is worse than a predicament.
I'm ecstatic we let go of Garrett, not because I didn't like Garrett, but because in 10 years, when you're doing the same thing, bro, you hit a stalemate, right?
It's insanity. Definition of insanity.
Keep it moving.
Right? Something's got to change.
You bring in Mike McCarthy, hasn't been in the NFL for a year. Here's the thing. People are knocking Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy is a quarterback whisperer, and Dak Prescott was on pace to have his greatest statistical year a quarterback's ever had. So don't tell me the head coaching doesn't know what he's doing. We need a better defensive coordinator. Mike Nolan's out. The guys do not want to play for him. They don't want to play for this defensive player. We overrated the names that we have on the defensive end for one reason or another. Understatement of the century is we let Byron Jones walk away for nothing.
Yep.
And Byron Jones, even though he's one of the highest paid cornerbacks, is proving his worth.
Every penny.
Every penny. Mix it with an injury-riddled team. We have one starting offensive lineman. Bro, it's bad. I'm not blaming it all on just one thing. But we have to look at it. And here's the thing. If it is going to be if it's going to be a fire sale, I want a full-fledged fire sale. Zeke gone. Dak gone. I want Leighton Vander Esch gone. I want DeMarcus Lawrence gone. I want picks. I want us to tank. I want to bundle up 3 first-round draft picks and go after Lawrence.
So you're with the tanking?
You have to, man.
Listen, I understand. I just as a business, I understand where it goes, and it makes logical sense. But as a fan, and what the fans want to see the product, not to wait till you're ready to provide a winning product. As a fan, you want to see them make efforts to win. You don't want it to be, because right now it is extremely obvious. Like when you watch the Jets play, they are doing everything in their physical power to lose games. And I understand, but listen, if you're gonna lose a game, at least keep it close. Don't let me sit there for 4 hours watching you lose the game on purpose. I mean, you're sending Frank Gore, the almost 40-year-old running back, out on a 3-wheel routes.
I mean, but
for 50 yards. What are you doing?
Frank Gore's a timeless wonder.
Oh, listen, I understand he's a timeless wonder, but he ain't outrunning nobody.
Nah, he's just gonna.
He's not 6 foot something, ready to catch the ball, ready to moss somebody. No, you don't send him on a wheel route 3-4 times in a row.
He can't moss people.
Horrible.
Horrible.
Somebody needs the moss case.
I mean, listen, dude. Bro. Ultimately, I'm as disgusted you are. You know that. I'm fed up.
Yep.
I'm fed up with the times that's going on in Dallas. And even furthermore, let me tell you even furthermore.
Tell me.
I'm tired of Jerry Jones talking that cacas. This guy, bro, there is just no, for himself, there's no accountability. Dude, you are the face of the Cowboys, a very stretchy, rubbery face, but you are the face of the Cowboys. Have some pride, man. Give us one time. Just put your ego behind you and say, you know what? This is how it works. I am going to give full autonomy to somebody else to run this team. And if it works, bro, first of all, this is the best thing that can happen to Jerry Jones. And once he gets his head out of his ass, he'll realize this.
Ooh.
If it works, he'll be like, see, I told you, I picked a great guy. If it doesn't work, he'll say, see, I told you, I know what I'm doing. It doesn't work. It's a win-win for him.
Absolutely.
So what are you doing, bro?
Eric Sika, what's going on, everybody? Listen, all our listeners.
I'm tired of this Eric Sika guy.
Now, Eric says, I just want to see when Andy Dalton becomes QB, we're going to the Super Bowl. Which you said. He said he wants that take on replay for the rest of the show. We'll try to do that next week, Eric.
Yeah, we'll try and do that next week. Blah, blah, blah. You know what, dude? I'm done, man.
Listen, I may be losing my bet to you, but it's by like 2 games, bro. You guys aren't looking that much better. You did say that they were going to the Super Bowl.
This guy's done.
You eat it.
This guy is done.
Oh, man.
I don't know, dude. It's
Listen, it's a hairy season. 2020 has taken a bite out of everything and anything. People are getting hurt left and right. We're losing greats. Rest in peace to Bill Mathis, right? One of the first Jets running backs after the merger. This guy, you know what I mean, ran for a ton of yardage, made us look like a viable product when we first came out. What's happened in the years since? Don't know about it. But listen, rest in peace. He was one of the Jet greats.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm tired of this crap. You know, dude, I'm so salty. This is what talking about this stuff gets to me, dude. It's so, bro, I get so bent out of shape. This is why not watching the Cowboys makes me a better human being.
Bro,
because when I talk about them, it makes me want to put my head through a wall. It makes me want to lay on train tracks.
You want to go out and count the lines in traffic?
I don't get it, man. Why do they have to be so bad?
John, I can hear the pain in your voice, but just take it from me. Once you're at the bottom, there's no way to go but up.
Yeah, but you
I've been at the bottom for a long time. Trust me, I know this view.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you've been, but I haven't. Dude, you know what's crazy? I have to say, I'm better now. I used to when the Cowboys used to lose. A
lot.
Shut up. When the Cowboys used to lose, my wife wouldn't even talk to me.
No, I believe it.
I was
believe it.
I was miserable. Now, I just don't even turn the game on because I understand that there's some things I shouldn't do in life, and watch the Cowboys is one of them. But listen, we're gonna go further because on the phone with us is our guest.
Hello,
your DJ of the Knicks, the Rangers, DJ Dan Monopoly. Are you on the radio with us, brother?
I'm here, man. Thank you for having me.
Dan, thank you so much for joining us, brother. Pleasure to have you on, giving us a little bit of time.
Of course, of course.
Dan, first and foremost, listen. Before we get into the journey, which is paramount, that's the most important part, and even in life, the journey is the most important part. People always like the beginning and the end, but it's really the road you took to get you there that is the best part about it. I just want to know one thing. DM and I were sitting down eating, and we both want to know, before we get into anything, Madison Square Garden, the fans, the noise, seeing your face on the Jumbotron, saying Madison Square Garden about it, bro. Just the feeling the first time it happened.
Man, it literally gives me chills right now. Like, I have goosebumps right now just thinking about it, because the electricity in Madison Square Garden is unlike any place in the world. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a diehard Knicks fan, but it's the atmosphere, the lighting, and of course just the fans and what they bring to the experience. It's unlike any place in the world. And of course, like, you know, being a Knicks fan, being able to experience Madison Square Garden as a fan so many times, so many games, but then, like, for the first time, being able to enter the arena, you know, ahead of time, like hours before game time, before tip-off, and then getting to head up to, like, essentially what's the music box where, you know, the organist plays, and then getting to stand there in front of DJ equipment and just stare down at the court. That feeling is, I mean, it was unmatched. It's just like, the only thing that I can honestly compare it to is the years that I got to actually see the Knicks make these deep playoff runs. So, like, for me, you know, in our age group, 1999 stands out to me because that was when the Knicks were the 8th seed and they made it to the NBA Finals.
Mm-hmm.
So just like the emotions that kind of run through you as a fan, me as a DJ, I had those emotions just being at the Mecca and being such a diehard fan, but then career-wise, this being literally one of the largest goals that I set for myself from the get. So kind of like having both of those things merged together, both realized at the same time, was absolutely incredible. And then, of course, January 1st was actually, so New Year's Day was actually when I got to guest DJ for the Knicks. So instead of just actually playing the in-game music and the timeout music, I was actually the featured DJ.
Nice.
So I got to play down by the court, see myself on the Jumbotron, which is surreal, and experience the game from that vantage point, which was absolutely incredible, unlike anything that I've ever experienced before. And it's really just one of those experiences where you have to pinch yourself, like, how did I get here? Like, how is this happening right now? You try to stay present, you know, but it's and it's over in a blink of an eye, of course. But yeah, man, it's literally, I can't even put into words just like, you know, the emotions and everything that went through me, not only as a fan, but, you know, just like being able to reach that point in my DJ career.
So,
was unbelievable.
By the way, you gave me a great segue. So you said, you know, you sort of look out, you say to yourself, how'd I get here? And that's where I actually want to start. And it's great because it's like a movie, right? It shows the ending in the beginning, and you're like, huh? And then then it starts out, and then it all sort of ties in together. So,
right.
2008, started DJing. You know, college, normal job, doing your thing, like every single one of us, doing your best to sort of, you know, build up a brand on the side, DJing here, DJing there, and then projecting a future, saying to yourself, you know what, this may be something I can do. I know, Dan, you had something in your mind. You had a phenomenal question earlier.
Absolutely. When John was telling me your story, it was an amazing story, and I had to ask you, when you took that leap of faith, what was the driving the driving force that made you take that leap before you started to invest in yourself and you said, you know what, I'm going to leave this 9 to 5. I'm going to invest in myself. I'm going to blow this up. I'm awesome, and I'm going to go show the world.
Well, I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I don't know if I can pinpoint one thing in particular, but I know for me, and just, you know, as I matured and got older and you learn more about yourself, I just kind of knew that I wasn't the type of person that was a 9 to 5 person. You know, that just wasn't my style. I definitely, you know, I thrive being a leader, trying to, you know, kind of like galvanize everyone. And I knew once I got out of college and I graduated with a business degree, I knew that wasn't for me, but I was also self-aware enough to know that I kind of had to do something because DJing as a side hustle at that point in time just wasn't enough to make ends meet and do the things that I wanted to do. So when I actually got my first full-time job, it was really the years in that job and the experience that I gained that kind of solidified my theory that while I can thrive in this environment and do just as good as anybody else, this isn't making me happy. Like, right. It's not, like, I felt like I was kind of leaving something on the table. And I knew I had this side hustle going, and it was going well. But knowing that I also couldn't dive into it 110% because I had that other thing going on, that drove me crazy.
Yeah.
And I would always, like, it was almost the idea or the just, like, wondering, what could it be if I was able to completely jump into this with my full self, 110%, and not have this other job. And I just couldn't leave that stone unturned. You know what I mean? Like that thought process would really drive me. And I knew that it was only a matter of time, and I knew I wanted to be smart about it and set myself up financially so that, you know, while it was a leap of faith, you know, it wasn't like a make or break life and death type of decision. You know, I mean, I didn't have anyone depending on me financially. I had saved my money. I had, you know, done things correctly as far as that goes. So really for me, it was just, let me make sure that I plan things appropriately. Let me make sure that I'm set up financially in case things move slower than I anticipate, which of course is almost always the case. But I think for me, to answer your question, it was really just like that wonder, like what am I leaving on the table right now if I don't do this?
Right.
And I really just couldn't live with that. You know what I mean? Like I was just like, I have to at least give this a run because I know, and I always kind of battled with my mom on this because she knows what I could accomplish if I was to just get a normal 9 to 5. And, you know, in the years that I was in a normal 9 to 5, I did thrive. I did do really well.
Yeah.
I got promoted through the ranks. But I would always tell her, it's always there. I can go back to that anytime I want.
Yep.
Whether or not I have to start at the
right.
bottom, maybe. But I can always grind and work my way up in that atmosphere. I will be perfectly fine. That's always there, sitting, waiting for me anytime I want it. This, I realized that was like kind of more time sensitive. You know, you can't necessarily be a DJ forever because there is a period of time where you're a little bit more marketable. You know, you're able to do
when you're hot, you're hot.
The grind that comes along with this that people just don't understand. You know, of course, like the schlepping equipment and the setups and the breakdowns, and then sometimes 2 or 3 events in the same day or 6 events over 3 days. I knew that type of grind is not something you can do as you get older and older and older. So I was like, you know what, the time is now.
Nice. Mature decisions. You know what it sounds like, John? Sounds like Dan's a boss.
Yeah, but he is
like a boss.
Listen, I mean, you don't get to those places, right? Unless you obviously grab the bull by the horns and just like you said, taking a chance. And listen, anybody who looks at statistics,
Scared money don't make money.
Can be scared, right? They look at it and say, wow, you know, an enormously, alarmingly high rate of businesses fail their first year. And anybody who looks at it can say, you know what, I want to stay in my comfort zone. But listen, man, you know what? The odds were stacked, but you kept pushing forward. And listen, you're talking about nightclubs in Atlantic City, Dusk, in Seaside, Karma. You're talking about Highline Ballroom, Pasha. You're talking about cruise lines around the world. You're talking about major corporations, big names, man. What was the first company or the first event when you left your 9 to 5 that had you feeling okay? I can definitely do this. I'm in it. If you remember.
I mean, I would honestly have to say probably my very first cruise contract. I think that was really the one that challenged me. I think more than any of the other ones, because as far as when you start your career as a DJ, I think almost everyone is like immediately like you're a nightclub DJ.
Yeah.
Like that's what gets the blood flowing. You want to play the music that you like, that's current. And then for me, I started to realize that couldn't be the be all end all. Like I needed to be a little bit more versatile than that, be able to do weddings and private events. And then I dabbled in corporate and realized that corporate is a whole other monster. You need to be able to play clean music and play not just music that people enjoy, but that also drives value for whatever it is that you're getting hired for. Because if I'm getting hired for some particular event, there's a goal behind that event. You're not just background music.
Yep.
Right.
Someone can come in and play music that everybody enjoys and maybe people have a good time, but I can come in and look at it a little bit deeper through a different lens and say, you know what? This is what they're trying to create here. This is the product they're trying to sell. This is who they're trying to sell to. And now I can tailor the music around that, and it drives way more value for the client. So then I learned that. And then when I went on the cruise ships, I really learned that it was just, the diversity in the crowd, the fact that, so I would do 4-week contracts at a time, and every week you're getting an entirely different set of cruise guests. So on my first contract, we're talking about 3,000 to 4,000 people, new people every single week. So I'll never forget my first contract, the first week going well, and then here comes the second week and a new set of guests, and I'm thinking, roughly the same stuff is going to work, and it completely fell flat. Day one, day two, like I couldn't get these people figured out, and it was simply because they just weren't responding to what people from week one were responding to, and that's kind of what I was used to at home. Like if I played at a club this Friday and I played this type of set, sure, I would change it up from week to week, but those same songs for the most part would still hit the same. Those genres that dominated would still dominate the following week. And with the cruise ship, it just wasn't the case. So when I was able to kind of figure that out and reassess and kind of just pivot and figure out exactly what I was doing and how to do it a little bit better, by the 4th week, my confidence was at an all-time high. Not just because of, musically being able to do what I do, but, I also had to hop on the microphone more than ever.
Yep.
And that was something that I just didn't get to do that often, because a lot of the nightclubs that I play, it's not really the style. It's not. They don't necessarily want a DJ that does that particular style where you're yelling on the microphone more than you're playing the music. And obviously with corporate, that's definitely, you're never really on the microphone except for making announcements. Same thing with a wedding. So that really stretched me out of my comfort zone, and I think that was the moment when I would and this was early on. This was only, I had quit my job in April of 2015, and my first cruise contract was the following year.
Wow.
So that was less than
Nice.
a year later of me trying to figure things out and do this thing full time, and I had that experience, and that was the first time really, also just traveling and kind of being on my own and being out of my comfort zone as far as just being away from my family and friends for 4 weeks. That was challenging enough. So coming out of that experience, I was like, yo, I could do this. I got this. This is, if I can conquer that experience and come out an even better DJ, I just felt like I got this. Whatever comes my way, I can handle it.
Nice. You never fail. You just learn. That's what's up.
Exactly. Absolutely.
You're I know here part of your story. Obviously, I know your dad played a major factor into a lot of things you did, a lot of decisions. Unfortunately, he passed on. I know he means a lot to you. Means a lot to you. Tell me, tell our listeners, obviously, the impact that your dad played, just in your everyday struggles, your everyday challenges that you went through, and successes as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So my dad wasn't the most vocal dude in the world. Um, we didn't have that type of relationship where we talked about a lot of these things, like emotions that I was going through, or, Dad, I'm concerned about like pursuing my passion full time. Like we didn't really have those conversations. Um, but it wasn't because we didn't have a great relationship. It was because, at least from my side, like I always just felt he was going to support me no matter what.
Yeah.
No matter what I decided to do, he had my back. And my mom is more so the vocal one. That she'll tell me her opinion. She'll kind of play devil's advocate. She'll give me the other side. He was more just quiet, kept to himself, but he would, just that quiet confidence, like whatever you do, you got it. Like you'll take care of it. And I think really what I got from him was just the way he worked every day. I mean, he was just a grinder. I mean, that's where I tell people that's where I get my motor from, is my dad. Like he just wake up 5:30 every morning, same routine, head to work, do what you got to do. Wouldn't get home till 6:30, sometimes 7 o'clock at night. You would think he would be spent, but would still sit down, have dinner, catch up with everybody, and then he's back at it the next day. And that was pretty much like, from what I can recall, that was like Monday through Saturday for like as literally my entire childhood and teenage years, as far as I can remember, until he retired. It was just that non-stop grind. And of course, he was, at that time I thought he was the worst, but he would drag me to work. And now, like,
that's the grind.
So like, I'm so happy that I've had those experiences where I can see it firsthand. You know what I mean? When you're at home and your parents are at work, you don't really know what they're doing and what they're, how they're dealing with people, what their interactions are like. But he would actually make me go to work with him every now and then, and just seeing it firsthand, I think without even knowing it, it literally shaped who I am today.
It's awesome.
Because
amazing.
I think a lot of the way that I deal with people and interact with people, he was a manager at where he worked. So the way he would interact with his employees, later on when I worked my full-time job and ended up getting into a managerial position, I literally some days would talk to my employees and I'm like, that's literally, like I'm speaking exactly like my dad used to do. Where he used to sit these guys down in his office and I would hear how he spoke to them. I'm like, oh my God, I've really picked everything up that he was doing and I didn't even realize. And even just the way that he, communicated with people that he came in contact with every single day. I'll never forget that at his, actually no, it was even before his wake. I went to cancel his gym membership at Planet Fitness, and little did I know that there was gonna be any interaction whatsoever. I thought I was gonna walk in and say, "Hey, I just need to cancel this membership," and walk out, sign a paper, and walk out.
Right.
And next thing you know, the girl behind the desk sees the name that I was canceling it, and of course she asked me why, and I had to tell her why. She turned around and she grabbed other employees that were working there and like filled them all in. So I'm standing there a little bit perplexed, like what is going on? Like, why do we need to tell everybody right now? And they all come up and they were like, your dad was the best. Oh my God.
That's
he
amazing.
would come in every day and
God
he would
bless.
just small talk with us and he would tell us we know all about you and your sister and your mom. Like he would just tell us all, like, oh my God, he was so proud of you. And like, he would just brighten up our day because he'd come in here, always make us laugh and this and that. And I'm just like, damn, like that's pretty incredible because
That's awesome.
I go to the gym all the time and I bet you not a single one of them would ever remember who I am.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, but like the impact, and I think that's one of the things that, obviously I hold with me to this day is just, I keep that in mind. Like that to me is,
priceless.
he doesn't necessarily have a legacy, let's say, right? Like his name is not going to go down in history.
Yeah.
But when you're able to positively impact people's lives by just doing such small acts like that, like coming in every day and just like being friendly, smiling, making people laugh,
Yeah, man. Positive
raising
energy.
their spirits, just making their day better,
That's
it makes an impact. And he showed that, and that's something that now I value and I try to do every single day.
Nice.
awesome.
Now let me ask you this: when you're talking about your dad's impact, what was he an insightful impact on you deciding to choose MSG as a goal to get to Madison Square Garden, or was that on you?
No, so it's funny. Like, it's funny because my parents, I didn't really get the musical influence from my parents, right? Like growing up, they didn't play a lot of music. At least from what I can recall, like they didn't play a lot of music around me. So it's not like, you know, a lot of DJs, when I hear their story, they're like, oh, you know, well, my father was a musician, or my mom like always played music around me. Like I didn't really have that. So it's kind of funny how I ended up being a DJ regardless. But like I didn't have that, and then I also didn't have the sports influence at all. My dad was big into cars. Like that was his thing. So we really, like, I didn't have a sports family necessarily, but my sister, when she was, I would say, probably like in her teenage years, she got very into sports, and that's when she was just constantly watching the Knicks and constantly watching the Yankees. So of course, naturally, my sister's 5 years older, so you know, you look up to your older siblings.
Yep.
So immediately when she's watching these teams, I'm like, you're a fan? I'm a fan. You're a Knicks fan? I'm a Knicks fan. You're a Yankees fan? Rangers? Whatever it is, we got it. Okay. Like, I'm on board with you. And
Home
she
team.
sit there and literally watch the Knicks games. And I'll never forget, like, these playoff series against, like, Indiana, where if the Knicks are on a run, whatever I was doing at that moment, like, I couldn't stop doing it because she was so superstitious. It was like, oh, you're eating pretzels? Like, do not stop eating. Like, whatever you do. And then, of course, like, the run stops, and it's like, all right, whatever you're doing, change it up, do something else.
Yeah, turn your hat around.
So that was really where my love for the Knicks started. And then, of course, as I got older and just fell in love with the game of basketball myself as a player, it only grew. And then, like I said earlier, I think, like, all the times that I would go to MSG as a fan and just experience that, and I would sit there and I would, like, kind of, like, look up and wonder where the music is coming from, and wonder where the organ was coming from. And you feel that energy, especially in the fourth quarter, as it picks up, and it literally, like, I mean, you can almost feel the vibration of the building.
That's sick.
Once I became a DJ, it was a no-brainer. I'm like, yo, if I can ever get there, like, that to me would be the pinnacle of my career. Whereas for other people, it may be to play at a specific nightclub, or to be able to fly to Vegas and play in one of those massive nightclubs, something like that. For me, it wasn't just because MSG is considered, you know, the world's most famous arena. It was because of my love for the New York Knicks. So for me, that was like, yo, if I can get there, that's it. Like, I've officially made it. I don't care what anybody else can tell me. Like, that to me was the number one goal. And when I quit my job, I'll never forget sitting in my apartment, and I had a whiteboard, and every year I'd write down all my goals one by one, and some of them were a stretch, right? So at that particular time, writing down DJ at Madison Square Garden was a stretch. Like, that was the most lofty goal I had on there, and then it kind of worked its way down from there. So, like, some of the ones were, you know, very attainable long term. Some of them were very attainable short term. But I'll never forget, that one was at the top of the board. And I still have it's funny, I still have a picture of that marker board to this day. I'm so happy that I saved that. And I even have videos where I would be walking through the city, trekking from event to event, and I would kind of just be doing a little selfie video with MSG behind me, with, you know, just the marquee behind me, saying, like, yo, goals. Like, one day.
It's awesome.
You got to keep them visual.
I mean,
That's right.
I mean, listen, your Mercado said it to me. A goal without a plan is just a dream. So it's true. I mean, listen, you're you know, you could write something down, but you obviously, the work ethic enabled you, and the persistence enabled you to try and achieve a goal, which didn't just have to be a dream. I mean, listen, it sounds it. DJing at Madison Square Garden does sound like a dream. But, you know, persistence and hard work pays off. But let me ask you a question. I know for a little bit now, obviously, following you and knowing what you've been through, DJing for the Westchester Knicks, how'd you get that gig that really set the foundation for you to be seen, obviously, by the larger or by the larger organization itself. How'd you get into the Westchester Knicks?
Yeah, so I mean, it's good that you asked that because, of course, from the outside looking in, when people, and this goes for anyone in any type of industry, sometimes when you see someone accomplish that grandiose goal, so in my case, playing at Madison Square Garden, you don't get the whole backstory. You don't get the whole journey of how they got there. People jump to conclusions. They're like, oh, like, he's so lucky. Like, oh, how did that land in his lap? You know what I mean? And for me, the story behind that journey is actually pretty crazy because it started with probably what I would consider almost one of the, I don't necessarily know if I should call it a failure, but one of like the largest setbacks or letdowns of my career, which was I got the opportunity to interview for the New York Jets to be their game day DJ,
Wow.
so their stadium DJ. And at that time, I wasn't affiliated with any sports teams at all. I had never dabbled in any type of sports DJing, so it was completely foreign territory. And when I got that phone call, I was like, okay, it doesn't matter. I love sports. I follow football. While I'm not necessarily a diehard fan of any team, I follow football. And I was like, this is a no-brainer. Like, this could literally be such a massive stepping stone for my career. And I went through multiple interviews, and every interview round, they eliminated more candidates. And I ultimately ended up in the top two. And I got to go to the Jets practice facility, and I sat down with a couple of the head honchos who, like, it's funny because the one guy who was part of the entire interview process, coolest dude in the world, him and I just clicked, like, from the get. Like, we were just kind of the same type of personality. He understood, like, a little bit about my story, and, like, he really appreciated how I was able to create everything I had created up to that point. So him and I were on the same page, and then he brought in some of his bosses that were just, like, straight to the point, like, you've never DJ'd anywhere with 80,000 people or 50,000 people. How are you going to handle that?
Rip the Band-Aid off, yeah.
I mean, that's true. Yeah. Okay.
And I was like, yeah, it's a difficult question to ask because, I mean, yes, I haven't, right? So you can't, I didn't want to lie, right? Like, I feel like most people would be like, just trust me, I can do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it's just like, there's no substance to that. Like, maybe you can, maybe you can't. I just said to him, I was like, listen, I haven't. The most at that point in time was Royal Caribbean. So I'm like, in theory, I've DJ'd for, revolving amounts of people, but like certain parties, we had upwards of 1,000 plus people. I had DJ for Salesforce, their holiday party in New York City. That was 2,000 plus people. So, I mean, that was really like the most I'd ever dealt with. So I was like, you know what? You're right. Like, I haven't. But this is the thing. No matter what has been thrown my way thus far, there's like, I don't feel the pressure. Because to me, all I'm doing is I'm doing what I love. I love to play music. I love to DJ. I love to learn.
Yep.
I learn from my mistakes. I figure things out. I pride myself on that. I pride myself on progress. Like, I got to be better today than I was yesterday. So game one, yeah, I might be a little shaky. But I can guarantee you that whatever it is, whatever expectation you need me to meet, I will be there faster than you can possibly imagine. Like, whatever I have to do to get there, you won't have to do anything. Like, I will get there. Give me the tools, give me the information that I need, because obviously I've never done this job before. I'll put in the extra time, and we'll shatter your expectations.
Nice.
Of course, ultimately, I didn't get the job. The guy who got it over me, incredible DJ, even better person. It just didn't work out. Maybe I didn't answer their questions the way that they wanted me to. We'll never know. But at the end of the day, the relationship that I created through that process ended up being valuable because months later, when the season was quickly approaching, I got another phone call from the same guy, and he was like, "Listen, I know it didn't work out, but I want you involved in this organization." So this is basically the number one place where we also need a DJ, which was, they call it the green room. So it's like their VIP. It's kind of like a VIP lounge. So they'll have, you know, obviously anybody who has like the top tier tickets will get access to that lounge.
Right.
They'll also have whoever's singing the national anthem, their friends and family. Sometimes you'll get players' families, celebrities. I mean, I've met like the Big Show. I've met Rosenberg.
Wow, that's awesome.
I've met
Amazing.
Method Man. Like,
Hey,
You're name dropping now. You're name
I
dropping.
like it.
I like it.
yeah, which was dope. Because I dropped some like I had to dig a little bit, and I like pulled out some like B-side Woo records, and like he came up and dapped me like nobody else even understood what I was playing. Nobody else appreciated it at all. He literally came from across the room and dapped me up. I was like, all right, bet.
That's what's up.
That was worth it.
That's it.
So all the time we would get random celebrities like that in that room. And I've been, up until this season, of course, I've been in that room now for, this would have been my 4th season, I
Wow.
believe.
Amazing.
Yeah, so I did that first season. It went extraordinarily well. And then it's funny because that individual, he ended up leaving the Jets and called me up, and I'll never forget that phone call. Like I was driving to an event, and he called me up, which was super random, so I had no idea, but I saw the name and I was like, I'm picking this up, whatever it is. Like I got to know. And he's like, so I'm parting ways with the Jets, but I'm going to be taking over essentially the same position with the New York Knicks.
Nice.
And I want you involved. I was like, yo, I like the chills. I was like, no, like because of course, like I was devastated by not getting that Jets job. I built it up to myself too much, I think,
Yeah.
through the process of telling myself what it could end up being, what it would look like, what it could turn into. So of course, like when you create those expectations mentally and emotionally, just like, you know, when you're let down, it was pretty devastating. That's why I say, like, it was almost easily the largest letdown of my career up to that point. But that moment, I was like, wow, this is literally the epitome of what everybody says, right? Like, you're sometimes like one door closes, another one opens. Sometimes like your greatest setback will be your greatest comeback. Like,
Yeah.
so I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, what are the chances? And he wants me involved. So at that time, of course, I didn't know what that meant yet. Fast forward a little bit later, and long story short, he was just like, listen, like, I can't just thrust you in there because that's not the way things work. Like, this is my first year at the organization. I can make suggestions. I can bring people in. But they already have DJs, and like, you know, I can't just push them out of there. Like, they're great at what they do, and they've been there for a long time.
Yep.
And I was like, no, respectfully, I would never want you to do that. Like, I will work my way in. I'll bring value wherever you need me to bring value. Like, this is a massive goal of mine. I'll do whatever I got to do. And he was like, okay. So the first thing you can do was to cut music for them. So they actually gave me the opportunity to cut music for some of their introduction videos. So the highlight of, and of course, like, you know, I sent them a ton of different content, and it's tough for them to sort through, I guess, because they have to deal with music copyright and the rights to play X, Y, and Z. But they ended up selecting one of the edits that I made, and it ended up being part of the Knicks introduction video
Sick.
for, I don't know, probably a month to 2 months.
That's sick.
And I'll never forget, like, I actually found it on YouTube one day. Somebody was just, like, recording the Jumbotron, and it was my music that I sat there, and I'll never forget, like, I literally cut it up. I was traveling somewhere, and I cut it up in the airport. And I did all the production work, mastering, while waiting, like, my flight got delayed, and I'm sitting there in the airport, and I literally did the entire thing on my laptop. It took me, like, 3 or 4 hours.
Oh, you're filthy.
And then, boom,
Sick
like, it's
talent.
on the Jumbotron coming out with, like, RJ Barrett dunking the ball, and, like, all this. I'm like, yo, this is crazy.
You were on cloud 9, man.
And then that turned into there's an opportunity with the Westchester Knicks, so the New York Knicks G League affiliate, and that was my first opportunity to get my feet wet into sports DJing in general, because DJing for a live sports event is a whole nother animal. You have your nightclubs, you have corporate, you have your private events, your weddings, and then you have live sports events. That's a whole nother thing. And there's a whole different style of DJing and what you can play and can't play and how you need to play and cues you need to take. So I went up to Westchester, and that whole first season was a massive learning experience, because, you're dealing with, at least up there, I actually had to deal with not just the music side of things, but all of the in-game cues and sound effects and beats and everything that you hear behind the basketball game.
Mm-hmm.
So you're constantly hearing like defensive chants and the drums, or you'll hear a hip hop beat when the team is on offense. You'll hear sound effects when certain things happen. We call them stingers. So like Julius Randle throws down a big dunk, and then boom, we play like the first bar of Lean Back, where it's like dun 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 dun. And it's just like one of those moments where you can kind of like infuse energy and like make that moment more impactful.
It's crazy.
So I was learning that I literally, you're telling me I got to do that. I got to play the beats during the game. I got to prep the music for the timeouts. I got to wear a headset and be like balancing all what I'm doing. Meanwhile, I got to listen to all the cues and make sure that when we change things on a dime, which happens 100 times throughout the game, I got to be ready. Like, oh, so we're not going to do the elements in timeout one. We're gonna change that for now. We're just gonna go hot, which means like we're just gonna go hype music. Try to build on the momentum. Let's say the team they're on a run, and the opposing team has to call a timeout to try to break that energy, break that momentum. I gotta come in and make sure that we just like keep that energy on 10. We don't want that to drop. So we literally will throw out all the ads, anything that we need to add in there during the timeout. We throw that out the window and go straight into a hot timeout. So it's like you're dealing with the DJ side of things, but then you literally have to turn your DJ brain off and go into almost like more of like a music director, like what music fits best with this element, If we're going to change and capitalize on this moment, what's the best thing to play?
Yep.
We're down by 25. Should I really be playing Pitbull, Don't Stop the Party? Probably not. We're not partying. We're down 25. So you need to you keep the energy, but in a way where it's not like almost funny, because it's not fitting to the moment. So
Dan, I'm
that
laughing.
experience.
I'm laughing, bro, because in my mind I'm picturing myself playing the song Down by 25. Closing time.
One more call for alcohol.
And everyone's looking at me as the DJ like, yep, he's fired.
Yeah.
There it goes.
Well, you can't be playing like Don't Stop Believing when you're down 30 with 2 minutes left in the fourth. Like Don't Stop Believing is not where you want to take it.
Unless you're the Mets, you know what I mean?
That's true. But the Knicks are not far behind. Come on.
Oh no, the Knicks
Dude,
are
listen,
far behind.
Guys and girls.
You got to keep your hand your finger on the pulse at all times.
There it
and
is.
That's why I say like it's like you have to balance those two different roles where the DJ you're selecting music, you're playing it. I'm trying to be technical. I'm trying to actually like show off my style and the way that I play. But then I have to balance that with they don't care if I mix this to perfection or if I'm scratching and cutting and I sound dope. If I'm literally playing stuff that doesn't fit the segment,
Yep.
Right.
or if I'm playing music that the players don't enjoy. Like if in the beginning of the game during warm-ups, my goal is like at that point I'm almost not really concerned about the fans. I got to get the players hyped.
Absolutely.
I got to get the players into a certain mindset. Like, yo, it's game time, and like they would at Westchester there was a different type of environment, obviously, where the players were, I'm essentially on the floor with them, and maybe not so much in the first season, but when I came back for my second season, the players would just come up to me. They would dap me up and be like, yo, add in this new Roddy Ricch song. Okay, cool, got you. Like, and of course, like some of these songs wouldn't even have a clean version, so I'd have to dig for the clean version. But all that extra effort would pay off because then the players would get super hyped. The Westchester Knicks were actually very good. We've had some strong seasons consecutively now. So it was really that we actually had, I would probably say towards the tail end of season one, we had a bunch of the Knicks executives come in. Like, we've always had, like, Dolan will come see games, Knicks players will come see games, and then a lot of the corporate people from the Knicks side, we call them the big Knicks, from the big Knicks side of things, they'll come and watch some of the games just to see some of the new elements. And we had a new director take over the past 2 seasons, and she's done a phenomenal job, just completely changing the show and like flipping the whole thing on its head and just coming at it with a completely fresh set of eyes and ears, allowing us to do a lot of dope things that we weren't able to do before. And at Westchester, we can kind of get away with a little bit more than you would be able to at MSG. So much so that like the MSG execs would come and they would be like, damn, like this is really cool. Like, we're in a small gym. It's like essentially a college gym. And what we're able to create there is pretty special. And I think it was just like seeing that and seeing like, you know, how I was able to work with everyone. It left a very good impression. And they offered me a game at the tail end of the season. That very first season, they offered me one game at MSG. And that was, again, kind of doing the same role where you're playing, you know, you're playing during timeouts, you're playing like those specific segments. So, you know, everything needs to be tailored to what the segment is, you know, aimed at or aimed for. But I was up in the booth. I'm with the organist, who is, I don't want to name him by name, but like he just like a legend, man. Like he's literally been there. I think either since the late '80s or early '90s. So I mean, he's literally. I think back to I'll never forget that moment, like being in the booth for the first time and like being up there, hearing him play. And I'm just taking myself back to sitting in front of the TV with my sister, watching like '94 playoff games where you hear the organ and you hear the defensive chants. And like, it would give me chills when I was behind the TV, and now I'm in the booth with the same guy on the same organ. Or maybe it's not the same organ, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, this is insane. Like, I can't believe. And then of course, like, I just like the same thing for the players. When you hear the national anthem, there's something about the national anthem that, like, you know, the lighting changes, everybody's lined up, whoever's performing. There's something about that moment that, like, I always try to stop myself because I don't really have an opportunity during the game to really do that.
Yeah.
Like, your brain is just going 100 miles an hour. So during the national anthem, I literally always try to stop myself and just take it all in. And like, specifically that game, it was just like, you know, I thought about my dad. I thought about my sister and I watching all those games. I thought about all the games that I had gone to as a fan, waiting out in the cold to get players' autographs after the game. I mean, just all these years of like defending the Knicks on social media. And I'm like, yo, like, I'm here. Like,
Yep.
This
That
is
doesn't
the
matter.
goal. And like, yo, you just made it happen. Like, this is, but then of course you have to very quickly, like, all right, like, let me zoom out of myself right now. Okay, bigger picture.
Yeah.
Don't mess up.
I
Don't
mean-
mess up. Like, this is, you know, you got one opportunity. You also, yes, you accomplished the goal technically, right? I'm here. I did what I wanted to do. I played at MSG, but I need to knock this out the park and make sure this happens again. And then that's actually what, you know, that led to, of course, more opportunities to DJ games. And then that led to an opportunity to play for the Rangers as well, which was also incredible. Man, the energy in there during a Rangers game is next level.
Well,
Absolutely.
I love my Knicks, and it's a different thing for me personally, but the energy at MSG during a Rangers game is unmatched. Like, and it's from the first period all the way to the end, not just in the, you know, like, whereas with the Knicks, like, it's the fourth quarter where things get a little crazy, and you can feel the roof lifting off the place. No, like, the very first goal, the very first fight, the Rangers fans have MSG ready to explode.
because that's how Rangers fans do it. I mean, listen, you gotta understand. Yeah, you gotta understand. Let me start by saying this, ladies and gentlemen. You're here listening live with us on HamiltonRadio.net, simulcast on Facebook. This is My Sports Radio with your host, John Antel and Daniel Mercado. We have on special guest DJ Dan Monopoly, DJ of the New York Knicks and New York Rangers. Also does some curating work with the New York Jets. So he is all in the New York area when it comes to any major sporting event, if we can consider the Jets a major sporting team.
If you consider the Cowboys a major sporting team, you got to consider the Jets.
Come on. Dan is bringing us through his journey. I mean, now we're here really towards the tail end of an awesome journey. Super thorough. Dan, it's crazy because as you're telling us right now, obviously as hosts of shows, we want to make sure we're not stumbling over each other to ask you questions, and we want to make sure we're not asking you the same question. We want to make sure we're asking you a question that you can give us really good, insightful answers, which you have hit a home run the entire time. The funny thing is so Dan and I are messaging each other back and forth on what questions we want to ask you. As we're messaging each other back and forth, you're answering them without us even answering you. So Dan now...
I'm wondering if you're psychic.
So Dan writes to me, and it's great because he just answered, let's keep typing questions because he's psychic. So it's awesome, man, to hear the journey. And listen, for anybody who strives for anything greater, coming from just the basics, right? Really, I'm not going to say like from nothing, but there was nothing handed to you whatsoever, and you had to work for it. It shows everybody that it's definitely obtainable. Anybody who loves sports, man, even if they've never DJ'd before in their life. I've never DJ'd, not 1 minute.
Thank God.
Thank God. Yeah. I pride myself on I would go to one of Dan's gigs somewhere in New York, whatever it may be. I actually had the privilege of going and being a guest on one of his cruise line events. And I would go there and watch, and I'm always picking Dan's brain, asking him why he would do this or why he would mix that, and he would explain to me. And the amount of work that you would put in for what I would think something so simple, like I would open my laptop and just play music, right? There's so much of a storyline.
There's a lot more skill.
Yeah, it's incredible. The amount of work, So, Dan, the insightfulness, the thoroughness, man, has been crazy. I appreciate the ride. I know Danny here, we're going back and forth, and
absolutely,
and it's unbelievable. But I do have to end on somewhat of a somber note here, man. We have to talk about your Knicks. We heard an incredible journey of somebody who made it from nothing really in the industry to DJ at Madison Square Garden, the Mecca, sick. MetLife Stadium, sick.
Bananas.
New York Rangers, which is the only team in the Mecca, sick.
Thank God.
And now we're talking about the New York Knicks. I gotta ask you, you there? It's not like you're in the back room and you get this, insight on moves and things like that. I know that, but what I want to know is.
So you're asking him as a fan?
I'm asking him as a fan. R.J. Barrett, I want you to give me some insight. What do you think R.J. Barrett is a key piece to this team, or you think he's an important piece that they need to build around?
Well, all right, so let me preface this by saying whenever I talk Knicks, like I actually do try to detach myself as a fan, and I've played basketball my entire life, so I really try to just look at it through the lens of a basketball player and, what I believe as a player all these years, what works, what doesn't work. When I watch a player, like, does he have it? Does he not have it? So, I try to be objective in that way.
Okay.
With RJ, I thought it was a great pick. I thought he was the best available.
Yep.
I thought that they made the right decision in choosing him. I didn't think that he was going to be the next LeBron when we chose him, and I definitely don't think so now. Like, when I saw his skill set, and I'm not a big college hoops person, so it's not like I studied his game prior to just being able to watch all the different draft highlights and all the footage that gets put out on each player. Watching all the film leading up to the draft, I was like, listen, he's a stud. Like, you can just tell the guy was born to play basketball. He's athletic. His athleticism is above average. It's not Zion or LeBron level, but it is definitely above average. He's savvy. He's got a basketball IQ. I love lefties.
Mm-hmm.
And you could just tell, like, he's got that dog in him. He's hungry. The guy wants to win. I'm personally, like, I love players that got a little bit of that grittiness to them, that look like they get angry when they lose.
Yep.
I don't like guys that just got this look on their face when they're down 30, sitting on the bench, like, where am I eating tonight? Like, I hate that. It drives me crazy.
Yep.
So looking at RJ, I was like, you know what? He's got a lot of the intangibles. Even before I saw him play this past season, I can sense that the jump shot was an issue. The jump shot looks okay. I mean, I think, like, fundamentally, he's got sound fundamentals.
Yep.
But clearly the jump shot is the weakness. So do I see him as a key piece? Yes. Do I see him as the key piece? No. I think that we're still searching for that. I don't think we'll get that in free agency. I think that we just got to be intelligent with what we're doing with our drafts. I think we need to continue developing the players that we do have. I think, Mitchell Robinson is a stud. I'm disappointed in Kevin Knox, but, I hope that some of these pieces will start to develop over the years. And then maybe at that point we can land, that number one guy through free agency. But right now I would see RJ as probably, I could see him developing into the number two guy.
Building
I think
block.
he is a great player, and I think he can be an extraordinary player. I just don't see him as a superstar. I don't believe he has that, like, X factor that sets the superstars apart.
Now, then let me ask you this, as a fan, not as somebody that's in the building. Let me ask you this: now that the Knicks have some room, to pick up somebody's bad contract, who would you like to see them pair with RJ Barrett to help rebuild this team?
Great question.
Thank you, sir.
Through free agency?
Yeah.
Free agency trade. However, who'd you like to see on the Knicks?
When I look at the team as a whole, I see Mitch being the cornerstone of, as far as just, being our franchise center. I feel like
Wow.
Mitch can develop into that.
Wow.
He's a shot blocker, jump out the gym type of athleticism.
Definitely
he
got
likes
hops.
to floss on his Instagram that he can dribble and he can shoot. Who knows? Maybe we'll see that at some point. But I think he has enough that he could really just solidify that position for us. RJ, whether you want to put him at a 2 or 3, obviously more of a slasher. We have an issue at point guard, right? Frank Ntilikina hasn't been that guy.
Ugh.
Never. He was never that guy.
I like his skill set, but he hasn't been consistent as well. Like, she's not showing it on a consistent basis. He hasn't shown that he can hit jump shots consistently, set guys up consistently. Defensively, he's great. He's always taking on the challenge of the best player on the opposing team.
Doesn't do
point
well.
guard for us, Elfrid Payton's not the answer. We got to figure that out. And I think a point guard and then a spot-up shooter, like a dead-eye spot-up shooter. I don't know who that would be. I was hoping it would be Kevin Knox. I think those are the two keys for us. We got to get rid of, as much as Julius Randle, to me, like, people get frustrated. Fans get frustrated with him because of some of the, sometimes he gets himself a little caught up going one-on-one and doing this and that. Statistically, the guy puts up numbers. He rebounds the basketball. He can put the ball in the basket. But the thing is, when you're on the Knicks, unfortunately, you have way too much, like, somebody's got to do it. Like, somebody has to take over at all times because, we just have so many glaring weaknesses that I just feel like all these guys feel like they have to do more than they're actually capable of doing. And I think when Julius came, I think he was kind of thrusted into that position, like, yo, you're you're honestly the most solidified guy in this roster.
Mm,
So like, hey,
Good
I
point.
guess it's your team. And I think you could see that sometimes where he's just forcing the issue
Oh,
over
absolutely.
and over and over again. So we either need to get rid of him or we need to put more pieces around him so he doesn't feel the need to do that. As far as free
Giannis.
agency, I don't even know. I don't even know who's available that like
Giannis is the
Yeah,
Greek freak.
the Greek freak.
I mean, listen, Giannis in the Garden would be absolutely epic. It's
Mhm.
just that the reality of the situation is I don't want to give up the house to get a superstar. Now, Giannis level superstar, I mean, you got to be willing to do so. But I mean, you can't literally unload the entire roster to put Giannis in New York by himself.
I
You
agree.
you just can't do that.
I agree. You can't spend all of it, put all your ducks in one guy like Giannis, which he's a great player, but you still need that building force. You still need that structure for the other players, the other young players that are on the team. Let me ask you this.
Right. And we basically did that with Melo. You think
Yeah.
about it, like we unloaded to get Melo, and
Oh,
then
but
we put
well,
Melo in no
different.
position to win in those prime years where he that was the opportunity. We didn't really set him up.
But that was a
because we
different build,
unloaded.
though. That was a different build, though. Dan, remember they traded a ton of assets, picks, and assets to get Melo. In this case, there is no assets being let go,
That's right.
and every team does have 2 max roster spots. So they can give Giannis and still get another one before paying R.J. Barrett.
Chris Paul.
Chris Paul
Holler.
could be an interesting. Could you imagine Chris Paul,
Chris
Giannis,
Paul
and R.J. Barrett?
RJ Barrett. 2 great leaders to help him build,
Wow.
to help RJ go
Yeah.
to that next level.
The Knicks would still suck.
Doesn't matter.
They'd have a
I
great.
wouldn't
they
hate
would have a
Nolan so
great
much.
DJ though.
Assuming Giannis comes over, just
They would
on
have the
his own
best
free
DJ.
will, a contract with Milwaukee expires, he comes over to New York. I just don't see it happening.
Now let me ask you, what music would you play after Giannis dunks the ball
Oh
in the
yeah,
Mecca?
yeah. That's a great.
Like
that's it.
like on 2
I like-
people.
let's go.
Bam!
Yep.
Tomahawk.
Yep. He's in the Mecca. He dunks it. He looks real gritty. Do you just play like in my mind, just Little John kicks off, bang, like what? Yeah.
I mean, I have to give that some thought. That would definitely, you got to have something like that absolutely blows the roof off the place.
I mean,
that would be,
oh, dude,
I don't know.
Rocking.
dude.
It's whatever's relevant at the moment too. Like sometimes like a new song will come
Yeah,
out.
that's true.
We like to pick some stingers that often play off the players' names as well.
Okay.
Like something that like has a line that mentions the player's name or something like that.
Nice.
That makes sense.
I'm trying to think of.
So what do you? What do you mean?
For example, like when Mitch Robinson would dunk the ball or throw somebody's shot into the third row, we would play Rick Ross's track where he's like, "I think I'm Big Meech."
Big leaps. Larry Hoover.
So
Exactly.
so
Something like that.
are you saying you wouldn't plug in any WAP during any of these dunks? No, that's not. That's not.
No, absolutely not.
That's not the in thing. He dunks it. No. Oh, okay. My bad. I thought that was a good. Yeah. Oh, my bad.
Let's keep this a family show, man.
Yeah. Listen, bro. I want
This
to
is a family show.
biggest comparison. Here we go. You ready? We're gonna leave it. We're gonna leave it off on this one right here. We know there's a drastic difference between the Knicks you grew up watching from the Knicks we watch now. Your
Mhm.
favorite player all time of the Knicks, and the moment he became your favorite player.
Ooh. I mean, the favorite player is an easy one. Allen Houston, all day.
Okay.
I mean, the pre-Allen Houston era, I would probably have said Starks.
My man.
I-
Number
I-
3, baby.
I love Starks' grittiness. Like, just like never took any junk from anybody. Always came ready to play. Like you could just tell he loved New York with a passion.
Dunked on Jordan.
Just like a super emotional
Pippen.
player, and I loved that. Like you could just tell like wore his heart on his sleeve type of player.
Yep.
Absolutely. Love it.
Obviously we can talk about the moments where he didn't show up and whatnot, but I
Yeah.
think overall, like he far exceeded any expectations of what people thought he should have been when he first came to New York. and of course that's why he's a fan favorite still to this day.
Yeah,
But when
man.
Allen Houston came over, I'm not quite sure. Like I know he was my sister's favorite player, which is probably why I even like paid more attention to him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think again it kind of like ties back into me as a player. Like I was never insanely athletic or like the fastest guy, the strongest guy. My thing was always shooting. Like I was always just like trying to become a better shooter. So when I watched Allen Houston's game and just the fundamentals of his jump shot, his footwork, like he never did anything real flashy. Like he didn't overpower guys or run past guys or jump over guys. He just had his core set of fundamental moves and was just lights out. I still
Solid in the
think like
paint.
arguably top 5 shooters of all time. Like when you look at that jump shot, it's just you don't even see guys shoot like that anymore. And not just the 3-point ball, but at the mid range,
Yep.
on the block, in the post, turnaround fadeaway. He put up big numbers. He hit shots in critical moments. So when I watched his game, I literally tried to mold my entire game after his. Like I watched his footwork. I watched how he did his turnaround fadeaway, his turnaround,
That turnaround was famous.
pump, yeah, everything. So he still to this day is my favorite player. Which again, it's funny how the world works because that first season with the Westchester Knicks, he was actually the general manager. So I almost got to interact with him every single game day.
Awesome.
So
That's
it's just
crazy.
like again, like if you want to talk about the universe is doing weird things, like that's pretty weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
This
Lord works
guy, I
in
grew up
mysterious ways.
watching him. I got his jersey in my man cave over here signed, and waited out in the cold so many times to get that signature. And then here he is on game day, like managing the team that I found like my first opportunity to play for the Knicks, and he's the general manager.
That's crazy.
But I don't think there's actually a moment where it's like, oh my God, this guy's my favorite player. It was just like watching him over and over and over. I would literally study videos of him on YouTube and just like dissect his footwork, his shooting form, everything. And then of course the very first time that I got to meet him was one of those interactions where I literally waited. I used to wait out in the cold next to MSG, and this was going back far enough that like the players they wouldn't drive out the way they do now. So they drive out from underneath MSG on the opposite side, and they're literally in their cars. They very rarely will stop and sign autographs out of their window.
Yeah.
They used to come out the opposite side of MSG, and they would literally walk out on foot,
That's
just straight out the door. And sometimes their car would be there, their driver would be there, and they would walk out. And then that's when I would get my autographs. They would at that very first year that I did that, there was nobody out there, like no fans. Brutal December, January nights, waiting out there to get like Shandon Anderson's autograph. And like, God, I'm trying to think of some of the other ridiculous names that I got that like people wouldn't even understand like who they were in some of those absolutely horrible, horrible Knicks seasons. But I'll never forget that every single time Allen came out, said hi to every single person, signed every autograph.
Nice.
Was was just like you just tell like the guy like realized like I'm a human being as well, not just a basketball player. Like you guys are waiting out here in the cold, like would greet everybody, would take pictures, the whole nine. And everybody that's ever interacted with him always said the same thing, that he's just like he was a great basketball player, had a great career, but he's a way better human being
That's awesome.
than he was a basketball player.
Nice.
That's awesome. I mean, listen, the '90s Knicks. So many people, obviously, growing up that are Knicks fans around our age, it was because of that, and we're stuck. And this is like the '90s Cowboys, right? For myself, I grew up with like the greatest, Aikman, Smith, Irving, Darren Woodson, Deion Sanders, Leon Lett, Nate Newton, Novacek, and Daryl Johnston, and then I get dog poop on a stick now. So I feel you, bro. It's yeah. I mean, he called the shit poop. That's how it feels when every time I'm watching a Cowboys game and it's on my TV. It's bad, but I understand how you became a fan and fell in love with them, man. Because listen, there's movies like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, right? Where Matthew McConaughey is, has dinner plans and is turning on the Knicks just to watch Spreewell, Houston. Like these were
Yeah.
these were iconic teams that movies used for years, and you would think you hear names Ewing, and Stark and LJ and Mason and Oakley. I mean, dude, the names go on, and it's
Xavier
incredible.
McDaniel.
It's incredible that MJ just ruined all of their dreams and hopes.
Ugh.
But I mean, he ruined a lot of
Yep.
people, so it's not exactly just them. But either way, man, it's easy to see how somebody could have fallen in love with the team back then, around our age, as you had said. So it's easy to see it, and as fans, you just sort of stick with it. But
It's hard.
Dan, it was an awesome. It definitely wasn't even a roller coaster, man. It was just an awesome journey. Just starting from the bottom of it and going all the way up, and the peak at MSG, and on the way down with the fans and the screaming and all the technical work, and kind of bringing us behind the scenes with the family aspect of it, and the personal aspect of overcoming some of your own fears, man. You've been awesome today.
Phenomenal.
I thank you
Thank you, guys.
for giving us some time. And listen, I would be absolutely remiss if I didn't talk about one other thing. You were gracious enough to be a sponsor of the show a few weeks ago. You and your lovely wife, definitely the looks of the operation, started started a another business, of course, as all entrepreneurs do. And you guys do some customizing mugs. So real quick, on your way out, just do me a favor, man. Tell everybody what you guys do, where they can go to get them, and I will definitely pass that link on. I have a couple mugs in front of me. He made some My Sports Radio mug, Mystery Sports Reveal mugs, which is my business. So Dan, man, just tell everyone, the listeners, the watchers, where they can go to get some of this stuff, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So my incredible wife, Carol, is a graphic designer by trade. So she's been doing graphic design for quite some time now. And, obviously with COVID and things being challenging for my industry right now, we kind of just sat down. We were brainstorming different ideas of how we can kind of merge our talents and figure out how to, build a little side hustle just for the time being to help make ends meet. And Etsy was kind of the best of both worlds because, you have to operate like a business, which is my strong suit. And then, the people that capitalize the most on that platform are the ones that are super creative, that can create things that catch people's eyes. And that's what she does best.
Awesome.
And so we actually started a mug business, which is, we're going to evolve into different products. But right now, we specialize in coffee mugs. So she does all the graphic design on them. So we have probably at this point, I don't know, somewhere around 35 to 40 different designs
Sick.
on Etsy. And, we try to be like, she tries to be like creative, and we come up with like witty sayings, or, we have some stuff that's like 2020 esque.
Yeah.
So we have like some Christmas mugs where the guys, like we're like Elf, or Will Ferrell from Elf is wearing a COVID mask. So like just like little things like that are just like not your standard coffee mug.
Yeah.
We have some motivational ones on there, which of course like right up my alley. I was like, this is what I would want in a mug, so we should make it.
Nice.
And then of course we have the custom options. So that's really where like Carol gets to shine, because people will send us their idea, and sometimes it's simple and sometimes it's very elaborate. And she does her thing, and then I get to send it to them and be like, what do you think? And people are just blown away. And it's funny because now the requests are getting like a little bit more complex. I feel like now that people see her work, and we have all these reviews where people are like, oh my God, I gave Carol this idea and she took it and ran with it. So they can find it on Etsy. The shop name is called Design CKJ. So it's just etsy.com/shop/design CKJ. And like I said, we're going to start branching out and doing some other things. But right now, coffee mugs. And, if you can, I like to say, if you can dream it, she can make it. So, I mean, we sent some over to John. We got some MSR mugs.
Absolutely.
We can do sports logos. We can do, I mean, like I said, you name it. And I think that the coolest thing is really just the fact that you can customize and personalize. So for gifts, that's the way to go. Like, you can buy somebody a coffee mug from the store, but it's not going to say their name on it, or it's not going to have the inside joke that you want to hit, or whatever it is. So, if you have an idea, we can make it next day shipping, get it to you super, super fast. It's affordable. And like I said, you're helping support a small business, which is helping us, get by during a challenging time.
Absolutely, man.
Amazing.
I love it, brother. I have to say, for me, a privilege to call you a friend, man. You are definitely a humble dude, great guy, in and out. So nothing but huge, huge success in the future. God willing, they start to let us back in the stadium so you can go and do your thing.
Rock out.
Yeah, and light up Madison Square Garden instead
Absolutely.
of look at the lights on the outside. So hopefully soon, man, everything opens up for you. Dan, thanks for giving us your time today, brother. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much. We wish you all the success in the world, man.
Likewise, guy. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you, brother.
All right. Stay safe.
You too. Take care. Guys,
Love you guys later.
Love you too,
Be
bud.
good,
Thank
brother.
you. Guys and girls, you heard it here. DJ, the New York Knicks, New York Rangers, working in MetLife Stadium with the Jets. DJ Monopoly, man, what an adventure!
An amazing story.
Crazy.
Started from the bottom, now you're here.
It's awesome, bro. But that's
Phenomenal.
listen, that's what life is, bro. That's what success is. You want to hear that, right? This is what connects guys like him and his story to the regular everyday people. When someone says, you know what, man, yeah, I was lucky, I got a good job, I worked my way up through the ranks, I got paid pretty well, but it just wasn't for me. I believe in myself. Write down on a whiteboard, your goal, and your goal is Madison Square Garden. Then you get to Madison Square Garden. Bro, it's
Huge.
It's unreal.
Ginormous.
It's unreal. I'm going to write on my whiteboard tonight, Lamborghini. I want one.
You know what?
Tell me.
I'm going to tell you one better.
Go ahead.
After you're done writing it on your whiteboard, pick which color you want, take the picture, and put it in your wallet.
I was so happy. I thought you were going to say write it on my forehead. Wow, I'm glad that went a different way.
No, I was debating shaving it into the back of your head, but
wow,
so-
that would have been incredible.
phenomenal.
Good friend, because I thought you were going to just say tattoo it right on my forehead. So I
No,
love
no,
it, bro.
no. We're going to tattoo loser after you lose to this chip challenge.
Ouch. By the way, listen, man. Before we get out, we have 15 minutes.
Let's do it.
I want to do a trivia question blitz.
Oh, I'm lacing you.
You're ready?
I'm lacing you today.
Because I need to warm the mind up. Anybody who's still
So you want me to start easy first?
yeah, start how you
warm
want
you
to
up?
progress it. Yeah,
Okay.
progress it.
Okay, all
Please-
right, okay.
And I'm telling you right now, I'm feeling good about it. I'm locked in. Okay, my brain is the jet fuel's here. It's in. Do I have any more? Shoot, it's all gone.
It's all water.
It's all water now, but I'm ready. So go ahead, talk to me.
Okay. Let's hit you.
Hit it.
All right. Hit you with some basics.
Okay.
All right. Just to warm you up. Simple.
Okay.
Right? In professional basketball, how high is the basketball hoop from the ground?
10 feet.
How big is a baseball?
Oh, come on, bro. That's easy? What do you mean?
You-
I don't know how big a baseball is.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we know his weakness now.
Yeah, you're gonna ask me sizes?
We're going to ask him sizes on balls.
I mean, dude, let me check. Hold on, I have two. I mean, dude, come
you got
on,
two
bro.
baseballs in there? I don't think so,
You
bro.
kidding me, bro?
All right.
Next.
All right, here we go. The Olympics are held how many years?
That's 4 years.
All right.
Okay.
What sport is dubbed the king of sports?
Wow. What sport is dubbed the king of sports?
You got to think worldwide.
Okay. I mean, listen. Common sense tells me soccer.
Ding, ding, ding.
Okay, because I mean, if it's worldwide, everybody, okay.
All right, so this is your last warm up.
Go
I'm
ahead.
slapping you around.
Okay.
All right. What do you call it when a player makes 3 back-to-back strikes in bowling?
Gobble gobble. That's a turkey, baby.
Yeah.
Yo, 207 bowling average. I'm a stud. Go ahead.
Oh, really? You nice like that?
I'm nice, kid.
Oh, you're gonna have to teach
I mean,
me
I
something,
was.
cuz. You're gonna have to teach me something, cuz.
Yeah. You put your fingers in the hole and throw the ball.
That's
Go
what
ahead.
she said.
Yep.
A sporting event is held every year on Memorial Day. What is it? It's the only one.
On Memorial Day,
Memorial Day. Every
a
single
sporting
year.
event. Isn't that a golf event?
Yidge. Nope.
It's not. On Memorial Day. What day is Memorial Day?
Memorial Day?
Yeah, what day is it?
May?
That's May?
Yeah.
It's in May? I'm going to have to say baseball.
Nope.
Okay.
Indianapolis 500.
Oh, so you're asking me race car questions?
You asked me.
Bro, can we
I
get a
warmed you up.
sport?
All
What
right.
does it look like? What does
Yeah,
it look
right.
like? Does it
All
look like I
right.
have a Budweiser in my hand? Come on, man.
All right. You said not to do anything before 1900s, right? All right.
Yeah.
So let's see.
Dude, I don't want sizes of balls,
all
and I
right.
don't want
That's not what I
race
heard.
car.
That's not what I heard. All right. What team gets the advantage of first at bat in baseball?
The away team.
Visiting team. That's right. All
Yeah.
right.
Yep.
Mm.
Visiting. Blah, blah, blah. Just give me some questions, man. Come on. You.
All right. What is the only team in the NFL to neither host nor play in the Super Bowl?
That's the Browns. We have a caller? Is that what that noise is?
I think so. Is that a caller?
I don't know. Do we have a caller?
Do we have a caller on the line?
Yes. Hi, this is Andy.
Andy
Williams.
What
What up?
Let's go. Let's go.
How you doing?
Good. Simply Sports. What's up, kid?
Not too much. Not too much. Just getting ready for 4 inches of snow on Friday.
Ooh.
Man. I mean, it's better 4 inches of snow than 4 inches of something else. But listen, are you calling to get involved with this trivia stuff or what?
In a indirect way, yeah.
Oh,
What
really?
does that even mean?
Well, I'm calling basically to challenge John Entel
You don't want the smoke.
Oh.
on December 2nd,
I don't even know what that means. Go ahead.
which happens to be my birthday,
Happy birthday.
Oh yeah. Happy birthday.
to a 100 question sports trivia battle royale.
A 100 question?
100.
Why 100, dude? That's gonna take
100.
forever.
No, it's not.
All right, hold on a question. Hold on a second. Time out.
Are we gonna?
Listen, this is okay.
We only got 2 hours.
Mercado, come up with 100 questions. Andy Williams, you are more than welcome to come down to the studio.
Yeah.
Here it is. When I win, what do I get?
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you get?
What,
I mean,
what's
it's a-
what's
it's a
up at
prize.
stake? What's up at
it's
stake?
a pride thing,
A
man.
pride thing?
100 questions is a
Yeah,
lot more
but-
than a pride thing.
All right, do me a favor. Do me a favor. Go ahead and read questions.
Okay.
And just read questions to me here. And let's see, Andy Williams on the phone. Andy, we're gonna do a quick blitz. We're gonna see who knows the answer faster. And I'll tell you right now, this will be a prelude into if you're even worthy of my time.
We're doing a qualifier.
This
We're
is
doing
a
a
qualifier.
qualifier.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. You ready, Andy?
Hey, no, you know what? Ask me one, ask him one. Ask me one, ask
All
him
right,
one.
we'll do
Yeah, go
different
ahead.
questions.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's fine. Andy's
Yeah.
Googling things
All right.
over there.
So Andy's going first.
And I'll go first.
Oh. What was Wilt Chamberlain's record for the most points in a single game?
Stop. Come
Come
on.
on.
100 points. Come on, dude. I
Rob-
mean, dude, my,
All right.
my daughter's
Rob
15
was a
months.
softball.
Yeah,
All right.
no. Give me a
All right,
that's,
all right,
that's
all
not
right,
fair.
all
That's
right,
not
all
fair.
right.
I'd have to been I would have to have been dead to not know that.
Okay. All right. Who was the youngest player to reach 10,000 points in in the regular season in the 20th century NBA?
Wow. 10,000 points?
Yeah. The youngest player to reach 10,000 points in the regular season.
The youngest player to reach 10,000 points. Andy's Googling this right now.
No, I'm not. No, I can't.
Andy's an honest guy.
I know, I believe that. 10,000 points, youngest player. 10,000 points would have to be essentially 5 seasons.
I'm torn between two.
I'm gonna have to say Kevin Durant.
No.
Okay.
Andy? Because it sounded like you had an answer there.
It's either going to be MJ or LeBron.
Yeah,
so...
I thought LeBron also, but then I said 5 years maybe.
But I think it's going to be MJ.
Okay. It's Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant. I knew it wasn't
Kobe.
MJ. I knew it wasn't
R.I.P.
MJ.
Kobe.
I knew it wasn't MJ.
R.I.P. Mamba.
That's why I didn't go MJ. Go ahead, next question.
All right.
Yep. That was a good question.
That was a good question.
Thank you. How many seasons did Michael Jordan play with the Chicago Bulls before going back into the game with the Wizards? So after how many did he play with just the Bulls before he retired?
This is Andy's question, correct?
Mhm.
Okay, Andy, go ahead. It's a lot of
I
basketball.
gotta get. It's 12.
Close. 13.
I was gonna say 13.
13?
I was gonna say 13. I was gonna say 13
was
because
either
One of those
'Cause
last
here's
seasons,
the
he was
thing.
hurt for like half a season. So I can imagine.
he won his first championship 6 years in, and he had 6 years in a row, but he came back the one where he lost.
Yep.
So I knew it was 13.
Yeah.
All right, nice.
Process, bro. The process. Trust the process. Give me a question.
All right. Stephen Curry's
Oh, here we
father
go.
played professional basketball for what team towards the end of his career?
Hornets.
Raptors.
Towards the end. Oh, okay.
Towards the end of his
that was-
career.
that
He
was
played
in
for the Hornets in the beginning. Yeah.
Hornets in the beginning.
Okay, let's see. Andy.
Dude, basketball overload, man. Jeez.
All right, let me go. Here you go.
Oh, now he does a different sport. Great.
I got to mix it up, bro.
Yeah, great.
That's
Just so you
fine.
know, I got like
Yeah,
126
I like
questions
the
right here.
mix-up.
Go ahead, Andy. Go ahead. This guy's gonna. Yeah, go ahead. What was the starting running back for the Cowboys when they won their Super Bowls? Go ahead.
It's funny. I was looking at a Cowboy question.
Of course you would.
All right, let's see. This is all right. So this is gonna be a tough one. Let's
Okay,
see.
I
All
like
right.
that. Give it to Andy. Good.
Who was the first player ever to rush for 1,000 yards in a single season?
Wow.
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 1,000 yards in a season. The very first player.
Very first
Wow.
player to ever rush
Um,
for 1,000 yards in a single season. I didn't know this one. I'll be honest with you.
There's no shot. So many running backs are coming to my mind.
Same here.
And to be honest with you, I'm trying to think about dates. So just talking it out, I'm trying to think of like Marcus Allen. I'm thinking of Jim Brown. I'm
No.
thinking about Gale
No.
Sayers. I'm thinking like back at the end of the 60s, early 70s. But is this and at Super Bowl era?
Exactly.
So that's what- yeah.
Pre-merger.
Yeah. So
Pre-merger. That's the issue I'm having.
Beatty Feathers.
no, we're not. Beatty Feathers. Not even his mom.
What?
Not,
I
not
told
even,
you I didn't know that either.
Not even his mom knows that.
All right. So I'm
Go
gonna give
ahead.
you both another tough question. Let's
Beatty
see.
Feathers. Beatty
Okay.
Feathers? Is that a cartoon on Cartoon Network?
All right.
I just want real questions. This is
I gotta mix
No,
it
these
up,
are
brother.
real questions.
These are real questions,
No,
brother.
he's being legit.
All right. This team scored the most points in a single Super Bowl. Wait, whose question is this?
this is mine. Single Super Bowl that has to be who just scored 55 or 50 something, right? I got to go with the Cowboys. Cuz
No.
they won 52 to what against the Bills?
I don't think it was it. Was it?
Nope.
Somebody scored 55. Is that the number?
I think it was Philly, wasn't it, against the Patriots?
No,
Nope.
no.
The San Francisco 49ers.
Oh, okay.
How many did he score?
I don't know. It doesn't tell me.
I think it was 55.
I want to say it's
It doesn't
50,
tell you.
54.
against the
I
Chargers.
want to say it's
against the
54
Chargers,
points.
against the Chargers,
Something
right?
like that, yeah.
When Steve Young got the monkey off his back. Okay, next. That was a good
It
question
was
too.
49,
Let's see.
24. They didn't score 50.
Scored like 54.
Yeah, I think it was 54 or 55.
They scored
dude.
49.
I mean, do we have to fact check this guy? I mean,
Well,
come
we
on,
can fact
bro.
check it.
Go ahead and check it.
I mean, this is-
I'm
hold on.
pretty sure it was like
Who
49-24.
scored most points in
A single Super Bowl.
Super Bowl? Let's see. I mean, this is incredible here. Do we got to fact check this guy? No, the 50. I said 55.
55.
The
Yeah, I said 54.
1990 49ers,
Told you.
55 points. I knew it was 55.
Oh,
It's an
was it
amazing game.
55?
Yeah.
All right.
I knew it was 55. Yo, but I was on. I got the team. I got the number right. Go ahead.
All right, Andy.
Yeah.
What was the name of the NFL player who legally changed his name to match the number on his jersey?
Ocho Cinco, Chad
Come
Johnson.
on, dude.
There you go.
Incredible.
All right.
Oh, my God.
Let's see.
What was the basketball player that changed his name 18 times?
All right.
Meta World Peace.
Incredible. It's,
Meta World
it's ridiculous. What a question.
All right, here we go.
Yep.
And this is going to confuse you guys.
Here we go.
This Major League Baseball team was dubbed by its fans as the Cheeseheads. What was the real name of the team?
The baseball team
Baseball team.
dubbed. This is a Major League Baseball team current.
The team.
The team.
The team, not the fans. The team.
Yeah. Dubbed the Cheeseheads.
Yep.
I mean,
What's the real name of the team?
I mean, dude, Andy, I don't know about you, but I would have to go with the Brewers. No, with their connection to Wisconsin.
Yep.
I mean,
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
That is right.
Okay.
That is correct.
Okay,
You
go ahead.
are correct.
I mean, that's who else? I'm thinking.
Okay,
of.
let's see.
That's-
All right. What year did the baseball players go on strike, resulting to no baseball World Series?
1994.
Ding. You got it.
Go ahead.
All right. Let's see. All right. Now
And
we're.
that was the best chance that the Montreal Expos had a chance to win the World Series that year.
Yeah. All right. That's 1676.
One more.
All right. Let's go. Let's go.
Give him a golf question.
No.
He hates
Enough,
golf.
enough with the golf.
Give him
Bro,
a
I
tennis
want four
question.
major sports. I want four major sports.
Four major sports.
If you
All
give
right.
me some NASCAR crash trap,
Do it. Do it.
give me one.
Yeah, you got to keep your mind open. All right, so here we go.
Mhm.
Okay, you like betting, right, John?
Oh boy.
All right. What is a Yankee in the sport of horse racing?
Bro, I've
Say that again.
What
Say
is
that
a
one more time.
Yankee
What
in
is
the
that?
sport of horse racing?
I don't even, bro, I've never bet on horses.
Me
I
neither.
don't even
A
understand.
Yankee?
Yeah,
Yeah.
what does that mean?
Let me think. Let me think for a minute.
Yeah, if he gets this, he qualifies. I'm just letting you know.
Okay, a Yankee is a horse from the north. No?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's either a super high five or a pick six.
No, it's 11 individual bets. All right, you want me to give John another one? I'll give John another one. Because
Quick.
that was out of here. All right.
We're about to close out.
Who was the first athlete to win Sports Illustrated Sportsman of the Year award twice?
Wow. This is
Say that
two
again.
two
Sports
name.
Illustrated Sportsman of the Year.
Who was the first athlete to win Sports Illustrated Sportsman of the Year twice?
I have to say Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods, y'all.
Yeah?
You got a
Yeah.
golf
Oh,
question.
I was so scared.
You got
it
a
was
golf
Pey-
question, bro.
I was so scared it was Peyton Manning. I was going to say two, but I didn't want to give him the
I
answer.
think he was the second one.
Wow. Guys and girls, listen.
All right. Andy,
are-
you qualify, brother.
Wow, that was, by the way, I was so, my heart's pumping because I thought,
saw
I
your
said it was,
face.
yeah, it was two. It was
Andy, I had him shaking in his boots, Andy.
Oh, man, that was
Of course
nervous.
you did.
Guys and girls, listen, man. Today was an awesome show. I want to thank DJ Monopoly again, DJ of the New York Knicks, New York Rangers, for coming on the show, giving us some insight on his journey on how he became the DJ in the Mecca. Great show today. We had our betting. We didn't get to everything we wanted to, but it's okay, man.
It's not
'cause
enough time in the day,
Not
baby.
enough time in the day. We're going to come back next week, bigger and better than ever. You're listening here on HamiltonRadio.net simulcast. If you don't have the app, get it now. Channel 2. This is My Sports Radio with your boys, John Antel and Daniel Mercado. MSR is out.
Peace.
You're rocking with the newest radio show on Hamilton Radio, My Sports Radio.
Deals. And Bonds hits one high. It's a dig. And it is on the all-time home run list.
Trainer right next to me is saying it. You may hear him. Down goes Frazier.
Sports Radio. And here's your host, Sean Intel. You're rocking with the newest radio show on Hamilton Radio, My Sports Radio.
Deals. And